Yo, welcome into the Dynasty BS pod. We got a quick short for you, maybe 10, 15 minutes here, who knows. We're just going to go over a couple trades that we've done this week, give you our thoughts. Smitty and I, we run another league, and we got some hot fire going in this one. We wanted to kick up some activity. So let's break down some trades here. So, Smitty, how you doing this morning, by the way, as I pull all this up?
You know what? I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic after yesterday. I feel really good about a trade I did. I gave up some really good price for it, but I'm pumped about it. So let's just break this down. So yesterday morning, I was able to acquire Justin Jefferson and Jonathan Taylor onto a squad that I punted first year, have tons of draft capital. I'm a commission this league. I want to win it this year. So I wanted to add some elite talent. Smitty, can you believe I bought a running back in March?
I don't know where to start. I'm proud of you. Number one, like this is so exciting to see.
Good.
One of the first things you told me when we were doing this was, when I get when I get all this draft capital, I'm not necessarily trying to make these picks. I'm trying to use them as liquidity so I can go buy hammers, which is exactly what you did.
I'm pumped. So here's the full trade. And by the way, I'll break down the roster on this one. So this is a start 10. So quarterback play is really going to matter in here. I got good quarterback play. And by the way, it's a 4 point passing touchdown league as well. So I got K1, I've got A Rich, and I got Deshaun Watson. Feeling pretty comfortable in there, but always looking to think about adding another QB and tearing up if I can. Receivers, I had T. Higgins, I had DK Metcalf, I had JMO, Drake London, just some other ancillary pieces in there. I had the 102, I had the 105, 108, some seconds, some thirds. I had three first rounders next year, two in
Mm.
2026, and just liquidity and seconds all over the place. So here is the breakdown of the trade, and I'm super pumped about this one. So I get Justin Jefferson and I get Jonathan Taylor. And in this trade, I gave up a lot. I gave up the 108 this year, which we're looking at that being there could be an elite talent there. I mean, the cutoff is getting to like the at least the 108 now with Xavier Worthy. I think that's who ran that broke the record. I can
Yeah,
never
he's the
remember
one.
his name
I
on a
would even
podcast.
say I would even push it to 109 because I really think Brian Thomas Jr. can really get in that combo. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, but it could be the 110 because Denver might put some serious draft capital for a quarterback too, and we could be
Oh my
looking at
God,
four
true.
quarterbacks in this league. So it is a valuable piece in the trade. But I got so JJJT. I gave up DK Metcalf. I gave up Jamison Williams. I gave up the 108, and I gave up a 2025 first and a 2026 first. Now the kicker of the trade, everyone's going to say, "Oh, you didn't give up your early picks this year." So the other team in this trade, I gave them back their first round, and they are starting a full rebuild. So I pretty much gave up the 101 in next year's draft class to get JJ and JT. But I also have a lot of draft capital and a lot of liquidity to still go do what I want. Obviously, I'm going to need a running back, tight end, some depth around the receiver position. So I might be using those picks to do other things with. Who knows? But I like this trade. But also, cool part about this trade is the other part of this trade team on here is one of my really good friends. He's in a rebuild. He's a good dynasty player, but he's also a newer one, learning how to process trade those things. So I felt, giving him the draft capital as commish as well, letting him start his rebuild is going to make the league economy a little bit better as well. So I think all around the trade went well, but I'm pumped to get JJ. I mean, I want a JJ. This is now my only share of JJ.
Dude, congrats on getting them. Like that's God, you got I mean, obviously I prefer the quarterbacks, but when it comes down to it, JJ really might be the best player in Dynasty. For his age and talent alone, yeah. I mean, we
Yeah.
can say Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, but then at three, can I fight? Like JJ might be three. So congrats on getting absolute dog, and then Jonathan Taylor. There's not too many running backs to care about, and he's like in the middle of that. He's in the middle of the top seven or eight running backs you really want that could really carry your running back squad. So this is such a crazy trade. Yes, you paid three firsts. You also gave up DK and Jameson Williams, but in return, you got dare I say, monsters.
Yeah. And I've got 3 firsts to work with between 25 and 26, and I probably have 6 or 7 seconds, probably 5, 6 thirds. I've got some liquidity. So when I did this trade, I decided that if things go wrong, let's just say things blow up, players get injured, shit happens. I mean, that the reality of the world is things just happen. Dude, I can liquidate this friggin' team so fast between K1, AR5, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Drake London, JT. I've got so much things that I can go sell if things don't go wrong or don't go right. So that was the full thought process in here. And I love what this is going to do for Tony. This is going to fast track his rebuild big time. I mean,
Sure is.
I gave 3 first round picks. I mean, that's huge. 3 first rounders. I gave up a very good receiver. And I told Tony, I said, now go process trade DK Metcalf. Go see what you can get for him. Go sell him to the Geno Smith owner. Go sell him to a team that's going to like, what can you do with Geno or with DK now? So I'm happy. I think Tony's happy. I think it's a good trade. I think when we look at this next year, we're going to look back and say that you didn't sell JJ for cheap at all.
Yeah, no, I agree. You paid a price, but I mean, just the return you got. I really don't see a loser on either side. If we have to play that game, the winner loser game, I just don't see one, frankly.
Yep. Now let's break down your trade. Same league. So if anyone listened to us talk inbox trade offer last week, this is the same squad, and this is what Smitty turned in that offer to. So the offer in this league was DeAndre Hopkins. You're going to get
Well,
DeAndre.
this is actually not the same team. This is actually not the same team.
All right,
Yeah,
scratch
you're
that. Asterisk on a horrible commish. So let's go on. This is a different league. So trade came in. Smitty, you are. What are you doing in this league? Are you? I think you're trying to contend and trying to rebuild at the same time, and you're going to know real quick next year. Correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did. So this is the 2023 was the very first year of this league, and I wanted to be the first winner of this league. I feel like I drafted a pretty good team. Some things came together, and then I ended up in the playoffs. But then when the playoffs came around, things got scary, things got dicey. I started trading away draft capital left and right, and I still fell short. So now with me just giving up all my liquidity just to be in 4th place, that was dark. That was really dark for me. I ain't gonna lie. I looked around and I said, "Damn!" So now you have a middling team at this point. You have a young quarterback plus a very old one. You have a young running back plus a bunch of old ones, and then your receiving core is just wild. Like I didn't know what to make of my team. I don't think that team at that point was able to contend, and I didn't think it would be able to really like lose to get high draft capital. It was a middling team, and when I have middling teams, I get scared. So when I get scared, I need to shake shit up. So with that being the case, I traded away Jordan Love, who was by far and away my best and youngest quarterback, and I traded him away with Isaiah Pacheco, who was, he was kind of like a miniature dog during the season. During the playoffs, I did not love what he did, but maybe they can fix that during the season. I don't know. Anyways, I traded away Jordan Love and Isaiah Pacheco for the 103 in 2024, as well as the 209 in 2024. Really quick.
I love this trade.
Oh, do you?
I love this trade. So we have talked about this before when I think about Jordan Love. So Jordan Love just had an amazing season. We've got some young talent coming into the league. We had some young talent that got drafted last year that kind of didn't look good, but we'll see who they are this year. But Jordan Love's price tag and his value is very high right now. If he just goes out and has a same season, and some of these other quarterbacks coming in the league have good rookie years, Jordan Love gets pushed out of the top 12, and now the price on him goes lower even though he's the same guy. If he stumbles a little bit in his second year as a starter, his value will plummet with some of how these other rankings of the quarterbacks are going. So I think you sold him at a high point for him. You got the 103. Now you've got some flexibility to go do whatever you want. You've got a lot of vets on your team where you can get more capital into this draft class. I like getting rid of Pacheco. Look, Pacheco is not a generational talent. So there's no way I'm taking a 2-year viewpoint on Pacheco. I would take a 12-month viewpoint on him. And if you don't think that you can win right now with him, get him off your squad before training camp starts. Because what if he gets injured? Get him off your squad before the draft happens. Because what if they draft another back? So that I think I like this trade all the way around. Gives you flexibility. But let's talk a little bit about this 209 that you got in this trade. So if you look at all these receivers coming out into this draft, this is from a body standpoint, talent standpoint, and speed standpoint, this is one of the best wide receiver draft classes that have ever come out. If you look at the top 24 names in this draft, you're going to see 16, 14, you're going to see a slew of wide receivers in here. There is going to be plenty of wide receivers to take chances on in the second round. So all in, I like this. You've got the flexibility. But now if you want to break up the 103 and even get deeper, you can do that. All the options you have right now, because you gave yourself flexibility that you never have this time of year, Smitty.
Yeah, I want to talk about the second round pick. You're right. There is a lot of receivers I could choose from, and that gets me excited. That's just a real testament to this class, and I really wanted a piece of that. But I can also go running back because the running back class is not like is being crapped on. So maybe someone falls, and then also Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. I don't know what's going on, but their capital, I mean, their stock is lowering massively. Like, I don't know. I thought we all kind of agreed Michael Penix Jr. had a good combine, but I was wrong. So, I mean, I'd be ecstatic if he falls. So, I don't know. I have a couple great options. I have a couple good options.
Rattler might fall.
Spencer Rattler, yeah. And he had a decent little showing, too. I mean, there are options. I like that 209. I really like that. That I have no idea who the hell I'm gonna get with that until the draft. So that's exciting for me. Like, wow, now I'm interested in the mystery box aspect of this pick, which I don't know. This is exciting to me. Like, wow. But that 103, I do have a name attached. Unfortunately, I am one of those guys who really loves his guys, who loves his players and wants to go for a certain guy. But you're right. I really should. Looking at my roster, I really should explore busting it down. I really should consider tearing that thing down. But
You should.
it's going to be a fight because, I mean, just you have the 102 in this league, right? Let's say you.
I've got the 102 and the 105. And you want to know what annoys me right now talking about this trade?
Mm-hmm.
I am still pissed at the AR5 trade I did with you. I would much rather have Jordan Love in the 109 still because on my squad, I would still have my 109 Jordan Love. So I'd have the 102, 105, 109. I'd still have JJ and JT. This trade I did with you is still to this day haunting me. I gave up the leverage to you, and it was 2 weeks before Jordan Love skyrocketed to the moon. There's no way I would have done that trade a week later.
Dude, at first, I've been sitting here. We talk about this trade a lot because I had genuinely thought he wanted, but the fact that Jordan Love was healthy I thought he was going to help me get into the playoffs, which he did. It's just, I don't know. I always was on the AR side of things because I did love what he was doing when he was healthy, but now I can actually see you. I can see your anger in that trade now. I totally get it now.
The fact that so I gave up the liquidity into a good draft year where I built up all my liquidity. And now I've given up 2 of those picks, one for the AR5 trade, one for the JJ trade, which I'm cool in. I feel much better about it because it is a 4-point passing touchdown, so I do like the running quarterback.
Yeah.
But for how I like to play, I would have rather had the options of liquidity because just like we talked, that tier break might be the 110 by the time where everything's said and done here. So, they're not bad trades. I got what I wanted. You got what you wanted. You've turned it into other pieces. I've turned it into other pieces. And, I'm kind of pumped. But for all the listeners out here, we wanted to break these trades down because these are 2 teams doing 2 completely different teams. But one is using liquidity to tier up, and one is going to get liquidity to go do the things that they want to do right now. So when we talk about all these draft picks, we talk about everything. It's not about making the picks. I've said that for so long, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're just selling. You're just selling. You're just selling." It's like, no, I'll use that liquidity. But think about this. So me sending 3 first rounds for JJ, it was nothing to me to do that because I still have 3 first rounders going into the next 2 years. So what difference did it make to me that I sent those first rounds for this player because I still have liquidity? Imagine
Right.
if I sent all of my first rounds for this trade, I would hate everything in the core of my soul because when shit goes wrong and something happens, I cannot go get the players needed to offset that. And now, Smitty, you have the endless amounts of possibility to go do whatever you want. I will tell you this before we get off of here, though. My first thoughts, I don't know if I texted you this, is what can Derek Carr and Chris Olave stack go get you right now?
Mm.
And
I am
if
exploring that. I am exploring that at this moment. And
if you
this
commit
is
to
not-
that,
Say
you
what?
have to get if you commit to that trade, you have to get Gibbs off of your roster then.
Oof. You know what, man, that's so crazy. You're right. I really should consider these things. It's just, God, I'm one of those people that just loves his players, and to bust them down is kind of scary to me, but it's an exciting new world, and I love this draft class. So, hey, let's talk. You know,
All right,
I
well,
also want
we're
I
at
also want-
16 minutes on a short here, so let's give some final thoughts. Whatever you're saying, let's make this our final thoughts so we don't keep people too long this morning.
Okay, since you have the 102 and I have the 103, all I ask is that you make sure that 102 is Marvin. Please, please draft Marvin.
I'm not
Because
gonna
we'll ruin
guarantee that.
everything if you don't.
I'm not going to guarantee that, dude, because like I've got so many options to do what I want right now
You
that I
really
could
do.
trade out of this pick, and you don't know who's going to come in and pick this. And I'm not going to discount the value of a quarterback being there. I'm not going to discount, dude. We literally might have 5 offensive players, like skilled position players, drafted in the 6 or 7 picks, dude. Like the endless possibilities of what I want to do will be there, and I don't even know what I'm going to do yet. So it's going to be interesting. You know me, I'm going to wait till the NFL says what they say, and then I'm going to figure out kind of where I want to go. But I like where I'm sitting, but now I like where you're sitting, Smitty, because you needed to do this. This was a good move for you.
Well, thank you. This was fun.
All right, listeners. Cheers. Happy Saturday.